Time is our biggest asset today. And in America, there are over 80% of all the parents who are working parents. And just like probably your parents, most of them want to do the best for their kids. So they would sign them up for all the different activities that they can so they can provide their best options. So what happens at the end of the day is moms and dads juggle between their working schedules, between their school, and all the other extracurricular activities. So kids and moms and dads are very busy. So our team was really passionate about doing something that can help their busy environments. So we went out and searched and interviewed and spoke to all the parents around, and we found out that this is their problem. This is a mom of 3 boys with different ages, and this is what she said. She said that they have to hunt and find all the options for their kids' extracurricular activities, and it would be great to go to one source and know that the contacts were accurate, as well as have the places recommended by all the parents around. So that's why we came up with our solution, which is the SKIDule. SKIDule is an online community where the parents and the providers can connect. So this is what SKIDule does. If you're a mom or a dad, you can go into SKIDule, you can search for an extracurricular activity by the location that you're in, as well as the interest of your kid. You can have a list of all the different options that the place provides for you, and all the options are going to be rated and reviewed by the parents from your community. If you like any of the options, you can book the option through the website or through the application, and you can get a discount between like 5 to 10%. Also, you can create a little online community with the parents in your area. So you can share your schedule, like for example, if your kid is signed up for karate lessons on Tuesday, and then you have a friend and their kid is signed up for the karate lesson on Thursday because they didn't know that you can choose the same day, this can help. So you could carpool and you can save a lot of time.
Okay, so who are our customers? We have 2 sets of customers. The first one consists of the parents. So we are targeting busy parents who live in big cities and have children below 14 years old, because parents are still the decision makers in the situation. So how are we going to target them? Well, through social media, through parental and teacher organizations, also through bloggers. We will distribute leaflets, and of course word of mouth. Our second set of customers consists of the activity providers. This can include sports clubs like tennis, basketball, yoga, also art clubs where children can draw or develop their artistic skills. So we will approach them directly in the beginning so that we can verify that they provide a good quality service. Then over time we will start cold calling them, and when we become more popular, we will be willing to be on our platform as well. So our revenue model, we have 2 revenue streams. We believe that the service that we provide brings value both to the parents and also to the activity providers. So on one hand, we're going to charge 5% of each payment that goes through our website. When a parent books a class on our platform, we will get 5% from the payment that the activity provider will receive. On the other hand, we have the subscription for parents. Actually, all the services that we provide that will help parents to manage their extracurricular activity logistics will be paid for them. Our market size, well, we will start from San Francisco, because San Francisco is a very populated city with a lot of young population, and we actually estimated that here there are 96,000 parents of children under 40, who have children under 14 years old, and they are above the poverty rate, so they can afford to pay for our service, and also they use their mobile phones or computers on a daily basis. So each year, these 96,000 parents pay $105 million for their children's extracurricular activities. So what we actually hope to do in the first year is to attract 2% of these people, which was about 2,000 people, who will pay for their children's activities through the website, and 0.2% of them, which is 200 people, will become our subscribers for our premium features. In 3 years, we plan to expand to 4 more cities in the United States, starting with Los Angeles, then Houston, New York, and Philadelphia. We chose these cities because they're big enough, the lifestyle is very busy, and parents will be actually willing to use us. So in 3 years, you see that our potential market grows to almost 4 million parents who spend 4 billion per year. And if we engage 2% of them, this will be around 200,000 parents who will be paying through the website, and around 50,000 will be our subscribers. So our revenue will grow from 30,000 during the first year to almost $500,000 the second, and hopefully 5.5 million during the third year. We reach our break-even point between the second and the third year.
And this is the driving force behind the SKIDule. This is Eva, that's me. And the reason why I feel we can do this is because I have an extensive experience in sales of educational products here in the States, as well as recruitment of salespeople. We have Teddy, who is our marketing and fundraising expert. She's got a great experience in the startup ecosystem, so she knows how to run these kind of companies. And we have Dimitar, who is our business developer. He's got a great experience also in an edtech startup, which he helped expand to 9 countries. Then we have Mila, who is our law and analysis assistant. She's going to be our backup in the commerce part. She's very interested and very experienced in the commerce law.
So our first milestone is to build a platform. This will take us around 6 months, and in the meantime, while our developers are working on the platform, we will be doing pre-sales, approaching venues, and also bringing awareness among parents about our product. And currently we're seeking for $250,000 initial investment, which will also help us attract our first 120 customers on the platform. We're also looking for partnerships, so it will be great if you could support us if you enjoy the idea. Thank you.
So I guess I'll start off. So subscription, monthly subscription is a great revenue model. I think that's definitely the way to go with this business. And parents are a great target audience because they're very loyal, but it's on the other kind of side of the card. They're very picky about what they do for their kids. My big concern here is scalability. So if you're going city by city, that kind of thing really only works if you're looking at Uber, where the market size is just so big, and they can kind of take it, just conquer one city and then conquer the next. And then lastly, the idea with any sort of marketplace, which I think this sort of is, you kind of want to start with one thing. So whether that's picking kids up from school, carpooling, getting kids to their sports, you kind of want to say, this is the thing for carpooling, and start there. And then once you get the people using it for that, then you can kind of give some other options, but you really want to be the thing for carpooling. I don't know if that's the right use, but pick one of your topics and go with it. That would be my advice.
So the stuff like this that I've seen that's getting traction generally solve the other side of the problem, which is the provider. And the reason they do that is the provider already has distribution. And so it solves 2 things at one time. And so like I'm looking at one right now that's helping yoga instructors. And the big thing they solve for the yoga instructor is that they make it easy to get paid from their clients so they don't have to use a studio, which now they get 90% of the revenue. And yoga instructors love that. They hate getting 5% of the revenue. And that immediately gets them a lot of actual end customers. And then I've seen some for schools checking kids in. They solve the check-in kid problem and the get the kid out problem. All of a sudden everyone at the school has to use it. So you might just think about flipping it around. I mean, I understand the focus on parents and I get that, but you did mention your acquisition cost in there, and I think it's going to be pretty hard to solve both problems at the same time. It's pretty expensive. Just my feedback. You also didn't show an interface on how to solve the problem, so I think you know the problem, you articulated the problem, but my thought was, people have been talking about this problem for 20 years since the internet's been around, No one's really solved it, so what are your thoughts on how you're going to solve it to make me believe that you could? Anyway, but I believe it's a real problem. I think you articulated it really well.
Thank you. Great presentation skill. I would like to start here since we talked about it last time. Great presentation skills, very engaging. So moving forward, moving back, moving across. That was actually very good. Storytelling at the beginning was great because it engaged us in the whole problem by telling a story, which is much better than just starting with facts. I wrote down some similar things here. So I wrote down you have kind of a chicken or the egg situation. You're focusing on the chicken, you might want to start focusing on the egg because the cost to acquire the parents may not be that difficult. You know, it's kind of like we have Angie's List. I don't know if you've ever heard of that out here, right? So it's kind of an Angie's List kind of thing. But having done this, doing cold calling, direct mailing is, first of all, time consuming and very expensive. So to get those people to actually come onto your site, I think you need to articulate more what's the benefit to them. So whether it's calendaring their events for them, you know, because I thought, you know, thinking this, some activities don't cost money too. So if it doesn't cost money, how are you making 5% of nothing? So are you going to limit it to certain things? Maybe that's the point of starting with one thing and being very good at it. And it's something that people definitely pay for and you can get a revenue model going on that. But focusing on that side of the business, I think is going to be more beneficial than trying to get parents to buy into it. Because if you have nothing for them to buy into, then what's the point? So you obviously don't have a dashboard built yet, so it's probably hard to show us, but I agree. It was a little ambiguous as to how it works. It's like it's just this magical place where people just go and everything's there. But I think if you had an interface that was more calendar focused, where you could go on, because this is going to be a community thing, right? If you had a calendar events, which some local municipalities have that, but they don't interface it well with parents, if you become solved for that, we interface it, we link them to your events, we set up the ride share, that kind of thing, I think that's great. And you definitely are solving a need, because like I said, people have tried to figure this out with something as small as yard sales, and they just can't seem to get it for some reason. But it was a really good presentation.
Yeah, it was a very professional presentation, and you captured everyone's attention with the problem. It's definitely a problem. I think you're looking at the San Francisco market. The San Francisco market is very segmented between the private schools and the public schools, and it strikes me that the low-hanging fruit here is to capture the attention of the parents whose kids go to private schools, because they're all they're in a community already. They have the means and the funds to participate in lots of extracurricular activities. They're driven to do that. This is all Tiger Mom stuff. And San Francisco is a good place for that to start. Same thing with New York, where you have the same segmentation of the market. I think the size of the market in San Francisco is not quite as big as you think. In terms of the number of young people between the ages of 5 and 14. We have a shrinking population of that crowd in San Francisco. I would echo the sentiment about the yoga instructor business. I'm working with a team that's doing something very similar to solve the problem for exercise coaches. And there's a huge area for the development of the relationship with the providers, because of doing it yourself. If you can find an interface that makes it easy for them to schedule their interactions with their customers, make it easy to pay, all through PayPal, whatever, then you really have something that makes it easy for the providers of these services to participate in. And again, in a market like San Francisco, you have a whole range of providers of all kinds of activities. Violin lessons by somebody who's on the symphony, down to organized music schools. So capturing the attention of parents who are trying to do things and providing a real range of alternatives is a good thing. So I think you've captured it. As everybody said, this is really a big problem. It's a known problem. Nobody's come up with a solution yet that works. At least I don't think they have.
I'd also look at, just really briefly, look at recommendations too. You become a recommendation site as well. So people who are doing this, and this also may be interested in this. That creates more value for the actual providers. So just be thinking about how do we drive value to the providers to want us to use us as their back end. So.
Yeah, you'll find that inside these small networks of parents whose kids go to private schools, this recommendation engine is there already. So by capturing it and broadening it out to the other elements in the school system. You've created an Angie's List already. It's there. It's there. They all talk about it. They just don't write about it yet. But you're going to solve that problem.
Yes.
Great, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. That was
Great
very
feedback.
helpful. Thank you.